Good morning. Thank you for joining me today as I outline my proposed budget for City Council's consideration. My fiscal year 2021 draft recommendations are aligned with the priorities set in the 2016-2019 strategic plan, the citizen survey, and reflect City Council goals and guidance expressed during the year. Before we get into the specifics of the budget, I want to acknowledge how difficult this year has been. 2020 has been a challenging year for our community, our state, our nation, and the world. From the coronavirus pandemic to the civil unrest, this is a year that will change the course of our city's future. We are going into 2021 fiscal year with a lot of uncertainty. The budget reflects four main goals. Use the current available estimated revenue to fund core and essential services. Adjust the number of staff to meet our estimated revenue projections. Develop a model to provide social and mental health services to shift certain responses from a police response. Continue to address citizen and council priorities such as community policing and street maintenance. This proposed 2021 budget shows a total expected revenues of just over $416 million and a total estimated expenditure of just over $456 million. Typically, there is a gap between revenue and expenses. City departments outside the general fund may accumulate project fund balances for several years and then spend the cash in a future year to pay for that capital project. Our revenue estimates are conservative, and we will review closely throughout the coming fiscal year to determine if additional cuts may need to be made to this budget or if additional expenditures for core services can be appropriated.
Glascock, Mark Slavitt, Channel 13. My question for you is about the police department. Are they going to be replacing people who operate the parking tickets on the street, or we will not see any parking people in public works anymore? And another follow-up to that on the police department, should people be concerned about fewer police officers and more social service involved with the police department?
No, sir. As far as the parking enforcement, I have basically eliminated 4 positions in parking enforcement, moved those to the police department. So we'll still have parking enforcement downtown, but it'll be done by the police department. It'll be a uniformed officer. They'll be doing it. It probably won't be as intense as it was with just having parking enforcement concentrated on it. But I really want those officers downtown talking to businesses, more of a community policing model that we're trying to do in the residences as well. I believe it needs to happen downtown. And I think your second question was what?
The second question was, should people in Columbia be concerned that you're putting more social workers into the police department instead of regular police personnel?
But what I'm doing is adding 8 positions to the police department to offset some of this. I'm also adding 7 positions to the health department to build a co-response unit. So they're actually separate entities. So health will take care of health. They won't be in the police department, but they will work together as a co-response unit. That's the plan. So however that gets developed, I don't know yet. We're still in that process, but that's the model we're moving toward.
The City Manager Glascock, I noticed on the budget that one of these positions is for an additional spokesperson at the police department. Why is that necessary right now?
I believe we have possibly uniformed officers helping with that, and I think it's to augment some of that, and it's also to oversee and coordinate. I'm moving the public information officers back out to the department, so they're going to manage that. Police department has a lot of requests for information, so they're going to take more time to do that.
My second question, looking at the big picture, And I know you touched on this. We have a lot of people losing their jobs, a lot of people facing uncertainty. What kind of message of hope can you give to them as a city manager directly?
Well, I don't know that what I could say to them. We're having to adjust, you know. We had 160 positions open that were frozen. So we eliminated 78 of them, positions. So if you're in one of those filled positions, I have unfrozen the rest of them that were part of that 160, so they'd be allowed to move in one of those positions to not lose their job. That's the way I manage that.